working middle-class Americans. I want a better future for my children. That's why I'm working to make Bernie Sanders the next President of the United States of America.
So for me, what it boils down to is this. Senator Sanders has backed us up on these issues for his entire tenure inside of the Beltway. I've watched him preach to an empty Senate floor, railing against corporate interests the same way that he is today. He's had our back since day one, and he's always fought for the middle class and tried to protect workers' rights. So when someone asks me who I'm supporting for president, there's really no question. It's Bernie Sanders. So, I've been speaking to you guys, but I want to speak to the senator right now. Senator, you have unquestionably stood behind us for your entire time. So it's our turn to stand behind me.
We talk about why 47 million people are living in poverty. When we talk about why in this country we have more wealth and income inequality than almost any major country on earth, we have got to talk about our disastrous trade policies that have cost this country millions of decent paying jobs. Over the last 35 years, our trade agreements have been rigged by corporate America to shut down manufacturing plants in Vermont, in Pennsylvania, and throughout this country, throw workers out on the street, and move to Mexico, China, and other low-wage countries where workers are paid pennies an hour. Let me just repeat a story I just mentioned to the people behind me a few minutes ago. Back in the early 1990s, when NAFTA was being debated, I went to Mexico to look at the workers there, to meet with workers there who are now doing the work that many workers in Pittsburgh or Vermont had previously done. And when I went to the Maquiladora area in Mexico, what I saw was shiny, state-of-the-art new factories owned by American corporations and European corporations. Beautiful new factories. And I said, I want to meet with some of the workers there. I want to visit them in their homes. Problem was, I could not visit those Mexican workers in their homes because they did not have homes to live in. They were literally living in cardboard shacks with filthy water running by as their source of water, one electric bulb dangling from someplace. They were making back then, this is the early 1990s, 25 cents an hour. And it became clear to me that trade policy cannot be a policy in which American workers are forced to compete against people making pennies an hour. Now, all of us want to uplift poor people around the world. We can do that without destroying the middle class of this country. Sadly, as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton spoke favorably about the TPP some 45 times. In fact, she called it the gold standard of trade agreements. Now she says she has reservations about it, and when a whole lot of people put pressure on her, she decided to oppose it. But let me be very clear what I will do if elected president. I will not renegotiate the TPP, I will reject it.
Woo! Yes.
I will not send any trade deals to Congress that will make it easier for corporations to shut down in this country and move abroad. I will not send any trade deal to Congress that would increase the price of prescription drugs, which is what the TPP would do, deregulate Wall Street, or undermine Buy American laws. That is what I won't do. This is what I will do. I will fundamentally rewrite NAFTA, CAFTA, PNTR with China, and the Korean Free Trade Agreement. We have got to lift up the standard of living of workers in this country and throughout the world. Trade is a good thing. but it has got to be based on fair principles, not unfair principles.
Young people, and they say, Bernie, our parents, our teachers, everybody said, it's important that we get the best education that we can. That in a global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world. And then these young people are asking, why is it? After we did what we were supposed to do, we went out, we got a good education. Why are we $50,000, $70,000 in debt? We should not be punishing people for getting an education. We should be rewarding them.
Here's something, and I gotta want to thank, this is, you know, I have a 98% lifetime voting record after 25 years with the AFL-CIO. And the reason for that is not only that I come from a working class families and the issues that folks here are talking about are issues that I've been dealing with my whole life, is that when you talk about the $15 an hour minimum wage, who do you think helped create that? Who do you think created that movement? That was the trade union movement. And what the trade union movement did didn't happen by accident. What happened is unions like the SEIU and others helped organize fast food workers. And the fast food workers stood up and they said, and I talked to young people, or not so young people, I'll never forget this. A year ago I was in Detroit, Michigan, and I met with young people, people of color, young men, young women. They were working at McDonald's for $7.25 an hour. They couldn't even get a 40-hour-a-week job. They had a 20-hour-a-week job here. They got on a bus, they went someplace else to work at McDonald's for another 20 hours. That is not the way you create a life. So what happened is that these young people with the trade union movement said, you know what, in America, we are going to create a minimum wage, which is a living wage, not a starvation wage. $15 an hour plus the right to form a union. We have made enormous